Good morning. It's Wednesday, January 8th. I'm Mary Hildbrand, and here are the day's top 5 stories from the Miami Herald. First, the weather. If you liked yesterday, you'll like today. Expect more sunny skies along with mild temperatures.
Injured in an automobile accident, go to injurylawyer.com.
Dumbass fucking kid.
La gente está en Ponce a causa del temblor de las 6:30 de la mañana. Mira, este era número 2. Ese se dice fuerte. La gente está en Ponce a causa del temblor de las 6:30 de la mañana. Mira, es la cafetera número 2. Ese se dice fuerte.
My laptop's probably the most...
The flu sucks everything out of you. The fever, aches, and chills can flatten you fast. Prescription Zofluza can help you feel better in just over 2 days. Over-the-counter medicines just treat symptoms. Zofluza is different. It attacks the flu virus at its source with just 1 dose. But your window for prescription treatment is short. Ask your doctor about Zofluza within 48 hours of your first symptoms. Zofluza treats the flu in people 12 years and older whose flu symptoms started within the last 2 days. Before taking Zofluza, tell your doctor if you're pregnant, nursing, and all the medications you take. Do not take Zofluza if you are allergic to baloxavir, marboxil, or any of the ingredients in Zofluza. If you develop an allergic reaction, call your doctor immediately. The most common side effects are bronchitis, nausea, diarrhea, sinusitis, and headache. The sooner your doctor prescribes Zofluza, the sooner you can start feeling like you, not the flu. Zofluza, 1 dose can do it. Visit Zofluza.com to download a coupon.
1, minutes off 95's exit 1 on Lafayette Road, adjacent to Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses.
This morning, we were awoken from a deep sleep.
Jennifer Sanders of Derry on vacation near San Juan felt it all.
That was extremely scary. I've never been in an earthquake before, so not having any experience with it, the building was swaying and shaking.
Here at home, Tony Elias may not have been there to experience the ground shuddering, but he certainly feels it in his heart.
This one hits home. This one hits home for me.
He has family in Ponce and has been getting updates from his aunt.
She's been telling me that there's been a lot of aftershocks. Once they think it's all done, here comes another one.
This map shows where the epicenter is, just south of the island, and you can see how close Tony's family is in Ponce to the center of it all, where homes and buildings have collapsed, roads damaged. The epicenter is about 100 miles away from San Juan, near where Jennifer is staying. She says they haven't seen damage there, and they feel fortunate to be safe. She commends the staff and locals for keeping tourists calm.
They're nervous, and their first priority is to take care of us, which I just think is amazing.
Tony is asking that everyone keep the island in their thoughts and give if they can.
We're all human. Let's help one another.
A lot of cleanup to come there, and Tony says this feels like deja vu. The island just getting back on its feet after Hurricane Maria, now dealing with this disaster as well. He has started an online fundraising page for the island. You can find a link to that on our website. Tom?
Help Al Beach Bus Line.
If you know a veteran who is
As the only vehicle to be chosen as a top pick by car and driver a record 34 times? Honda. Who has KellyBlueBook.com chosen as a Best Buy? Honda. Buy the best, drive the best. Test drive an award-winning Honda at your local Honda dealer.
A 5.8 magnitude earthquake in southwestern Puerto Rico reportedly toppled Punta Ventana, a popular natural wonder. The massive stone arc was located in Guayanilla and was incredibly important to local tourism. According to the Miami Herald, the quake that claimed it struck early on Monday and followed a series of tremors that began on December 28th. The New York Times notes the previous events had visibly weakened the natural formation.
Hello? Where? Hold on. You coming now? Well, we can't bring something. Alright. Bobby reaches out to me later. If he can. I'm worried. I just want to make sure he's alright. So what does it? December 28th? Let me see something. Deadly earthquake and several other strong tremors struck Puerto Rico this morning, killing at least one man, injured several others. It's likely the most damaging quake to impact the island since 1918. 2 days of quakes. Today quake comes a day after a 5.8 earthquake shocked the island. state of emergency, Puerto Rico had declared a state of emergency. Live coverage of the story has ended. You can read more about the Puerto Rico earthquake here. And it says earthquakes could cost Puerto Rico economy up to $3.1 billion. Puerto Rico governor says almost 300,000 homes and businesses are without water services. New York governor reassigns power experts already in Puerto Rico to help with quake response, who were already deployed in Puerto Rico to help restore power following several earthquakes that have hit the island. A statement from the office says, during difficult times, the state of New York always stands with the support of our brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico, and today is no different. The NYPA already had a team of 10 technician power experts on the island assisting Puerto Rico since Hurricane Maria. The team has been working to address recent blackouts and subsidize the island's power system to avoid power outages. The statement says, once this team has completed its work to help restore power after the earthquake, I will resume its contributor efforts with something to a Puerto Rico electric system so it's better prepared to withstand all kinds of natural disasters in the future. President says Tuesday earthquakes were horrible. People are afraid to go to bed to then be woken up to worse earthquakes than the day before. They show the rumbling disasters around a city in the southwest of Puerto Rico. Luckily, are up to so we could check on each other periodically. But it wasn't for that, there would be panic. The earthquake on Monday and Tuesday struck to the southwest of Puerto Rico, at the opposite end of the island from its capital, San Joe? State of emergency declared in Puerto Rico. Governor, I don't know how to pronounce it, has signed a state of emergency declaration for the island. Those acting in the National Guards of Puerto Rico. No request for FEMA assistance yet. As of 9 a.m. Easter time, this governor of Puerto Rico had not made a request of federal emergency management agencies assisting. A FEMA official told CNN. A formal request from a state governor is a pursuit for providing monetary aid on the guard rescue. Florida Governor Rick Scott said he spoke with President Donald Trump, acting administrator, this morning. The FEMA is prepared to support the island. This earthquake is likely to be the most damaging to Puerto Rico in over a century. This morning, the 6.4 earthquake off the southern coast of Puerto Rico is likely the island's most damaging earthquake in over a century. In 1918, a strong earthquake struck Puerto Rico and caused... Come on, man, what the hell? And caused a tsunami result in 116 deaths and loss of $4 million, 2 times the annual budget for the whole island at the time, according to the Puerto Rico network. Estimates show potential economy losses greater than $100 million from today's 6.4 earthquake, and also estimated over 400,000 people felt strong to very strong shaking. Today's earthquake is the largest to impact Puerto Rico since 2014, when a 6.4 struck 61 miles northeast of the island. The earthquake briefly disrupted power and caused minor damages and was located further to the shore than today's quake. I hope he's alright. I'm about to see if I can reach out to him. The Coast Guard is responding to the earthquake and ongoing. Tuesday off the south and southwest coast of the Puerto Rico, according to a news release from the agency. All the ports in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virginia Islands remain open until further notice. There is no ongoing such as in rescues as a result of a rescue. Coast Guard port assessment teams are visiting all federal port facilities in Puerto Rico to assist in potential damage, especially in the facility on the south and southwest coast of the islands. Helicopters are also identifying partial signs of population and water damage to port waterways. At this time, no incidents and populations have been reported to the Coast Guard. 2 earthquakes have hit Puerto Rico in 2 days. A 6.4 earthquake and several other strong tremors struck Puerto Rico Tuesday morning, killing at least 1 man and injured several others, one day after the 5.8 quake struck the island, officials said. Power outage and damages have been reported near the island's southern coast, including in the city of, I don't know how to pronounce that, where a 77-year-old man was killed and at least 8 others were injured. An emergency management director, Angel, this morning, the 6.4 quake struck at 4:24 a.m. local time, 3:24 a.m. Eastern Time Central, just off Puerto Rico's southern coast, about 6 miles of Idlewild town. I gotta see if I can reach out to him.
Esto de la familia, hablar con los niños para que sepan. Este es el momento en que precisamente pues aquí
tembló aquí en Guaynabo. Ese es el área de la cabina donde típicamente nosotros pues ponemos las voces a nuestros reportajes, a nuestros titulares. Justo el momento, ahí el reloj marca las 4:24 con 50 segundos aproximadamente cuando inició el momento, y eso nos puede dar precisamente una idea de cuánto tiempo duró y se sintió acá, obviamente en Guaynabo, que es bastante alejado, por supuesto, de la zona sur del país. Yo personalmente estaba en el área de maquillaje y, como comenté más temprano, aquí primero se fue la luz y luego entonces comenzó el temblor, y como nos explicó más temprano Ángel Figueroa Jaramillo, es normal porque se fue la luz.
Big story breaking right now. Power is out across Puerto Rico after a series of new earthquakes hit the island, killing at least one man.
Yes, these quakes come just a day after a 5.8 magnitude quake struck early yesterday morning, collapsing 5 homes in the southwest coastal town of Guanica and heavily damaging dozens of others.
Now, we're still getting updates into the newsroom this morning, so Justin Wormuth now joins us with the very latest. Justin.
And Candace, this is just one of the many images that are coming in this morning. This one showing a home on top of a car, as you can see. Just tragic to see this, just hours after the largest in a series of quakes that have struck the U.S. territory in recent days, causing heavy damage in some areas. Now, the most powerful was a magnitude 6.4 that struck just before 4:30 this morning. Then 3 hours later, the latest update from the U.S. Geological Survey indicated there was a 5.6 magnitude quake, along with several smaller aftershocks. A tsunami alert was initially issued for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, but that was later canceled. Now, here is another video just coming in from the island, a camera in a sound recording booth capturing the moment the first quake hit. Now, the video is not super dramatic here, but because everything is fixed into place, but you can see the room rattling a little bit. We're also seeing some video just coming in from neighbors checking for damage. Let's take a listen.
You can see the cars, you can also see to the right kind of the contours of San Juan Bautista Cathedral, and that is still standing. Just surveying the surroundings. Power in my room here in Old San Juan is out. Open the door, if you can see it, just looking out on the rest of the city. And here's the scene, so can't really make that much out.
CBS News correspondent David Begnaud tweeted that power is out to the entire island and that there's minor damage to the two largest government-owned power plants. There's also some reports of damage to the Costa Sur power plant that's in the southern part of the island. Not surprising from the damage we can see in this video. Another journalist on the scene, Danica Cotto, tweeted this photo out saying that she's in Ponce, where a 73-year-old man died after a wall collapsed on him following the earthquake. Begnaud is also tweeting out some more pictures. You can see damaged homes here, debris. He says that the earthquake damage is being reported from several municipalities, including Huanica, Guainía, Ponce, Peñuelas, and Yauco. Now, here are some more images of that destruction. We just continue to get this new information coming in. Cracks up the side of homes, homes splintered, more cars smashed underneath, just wild to see. A geological center in the Caribbean posted these photos as well. These were taken by Robert Vargas on Facebook, showing the damage to an intermediate school in Huanica. Of course, as the day goes on, we will be getting more images like this, more details as well from the damage on the island, and as that damage continues to be assessed, I want to bring in meteorologist Troy Bridges now to give us a look at just where this is all happening. It's all centered in one area of the island, Troy.
Yeah, you can see really the southwestern sections of the island from Maya West to Ponce, where you see all of these circles, the yellow and the green circles indicating the lower magnitude quakes. The reds, of course, the higher magnitudes. And as you've reported, we've had that one early this morning up to 6.4. And as we zoom in again, it's mainly to the west of Ponce, but you can see all of these areas impacted. We could even see some mudslides from this because there is rain building in. This is the radar imagery on top of the map here. So we're showing the quakes over the past 24 hours. That's a lot in 24 hours. Then you get this rain here. So mudslides could be an issue, as well as, of course, more of these quakes as we go on. And as you've mentioned, we've had hundreds over the past few weeks.
Yes, we have. So they can continue to expect to see aftershocks of lower magnitude. Hopefully nothing like we saw this morning with the 6.4s and the 5.8s. But nevertheless, certainly a troubling situation going on there.
Especially for areas like Ojontas and areas south of there to Ponce, mainly to the west. So we're going to watch this and, of course, keep you up to date throughout the day.
Thank you, Troy.
It's hard to fully comprehend, but more than 4 months since hurricanes swept through the Caribbean, about half of Puerto Ricans remain without electricity. This week, Governor Ricardo Rosselló announced the island's public energy monopoly would be sold off to private companies following a series of scandals. In the first of 2 reports from Puerto Rico, special correspondent Monica Villamizar looks at what's behind the delay in restoring power and how people are coping.
When Hurricane Maria struck in September, fires broke out, and victims had to run to the station to inform firefighter Ronald Vega and his colleagues. There was no way to dial 911. This fire station in the eastern town of Naguabo is now functioning normally. But at Ronald Vega's home nearby, there is no electricity. He uses a generator at night and relies on emergency food aid. The signs of water damage still loom above his head.
It's not easy. It's such a tough situation. I'm paying at least $15 a day for the fuel of my generator during the week. That's every day.
As a firefighter, Vega makes less than $20,000 a year. Before the storm, he was already supplementing his income with part-time work at Walgreens. 4 months after the storm, about 450,000 of the 1.5 million electricity customers are without service. Blackouts occur regularly for hours at a time, even in San Juan. Outside the capital, destruction remains. In Salinas, home to the island's largest power plant, barber Julio Ortiz set up shop at a ruined gas station. It took him 3 months to find an inverter to connect his razors to the car battery.
People have to survive one way or another. I have to make it happen somehow, because, you know, money doesn't grow on trees.
The response here remains an emergency. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers coordinates repairs by private contractors using dollars from FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
We are standing at the laydown yard where all our larger items.
Hearing from a San Francisco resident who's in Puerto Rico and felt the destructive 5.8 earthquake today. Joining me now by FaceTime is Fernando Velez. Now, Fernando, can you kind of explain what happened when this earthquake hit?
It was about 6:30 in the morning. Basically, everybody was still asleep when this happened. A lot of people just wake up with their house on the ground. Most of the houses here are built in a second floor platform, held by some columns. And on there we use as a garage. So a lot of these houses basically just fell into top of the cars with the people inside the house that were sleeping.
Well, was everybody in your house okay, and in the area around you?
Yeah, my house was okay. But thanks God we're fine. All my family, it's good. We were just super scared because it's just happening since 6:30 in the morning. There's been like 16. Or the latest was like about 40 minutes ago, or 4.5, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's just been a really busy day there, it sounds like. As far as the damage is concerned, you talked about those houses falling on cars. What else are you seeing?
There's a lot of landslides, a lot of electricity poles falling, a lot of cracks in the houses. Some old structures have fallen, like walls and roof. At least nobody has been injured so far. They have declared some towns an emergency. Some people have been moved because they're living close. And it's just been, since December 28, it's been shaking every day. And we're just living in this fear that we don't know if it's going to be a bigger one. We were told that there shouldn't be no more, and then today we have a bigger one than the one that we had on December 28th.
As far as power and water are concerned, do you guys have both of those?
So what I have, the knowledge I have is that they shut down the electricity when this happened for about 8 hours to ensure that there's no fires or, people getting electrocuted because of the poles that falls. Yeah, the electricity is back on. We're good now.
Good. And I understand that one of the famous natural landmarks there, the Punta Ventana, has just completely fallen down.
Yeah, that's correct. That's actually in my town, my hometown, just 3 miles from me, and it's just gone. I'm glad that there was, that wouldn't be during the day. That's a very famous spot where people can go there to take pictures. That would have been really bad if that would have happened when people were right on top of that. but it's gone. It's completely gone. And we were driving around. You see huge rocks that have fallen, and because it's raining now, the rocks are a little loose. So people have to be careful driving because they're still falling from being loose.
So what's next for everybody there?
We don't know. We're literally, my mom said that she wants to sleep outside. People have suitcase ready. My family is just crying and anxious because 16 of them, about 6 we felt them. We just don't know. They're saying that there's 2 different faults. And when one moved, it passed heat to the other one or something like that, and that's when the other one shakes. Like they're both taking turns.
I mean, Puerto Rico has hardly even recovered from Hurricane Maria, and now here's this big quake. What does this do as far as the damage and the infrastructure for your country, or for this part, I should say, of Puerto Rico?
Well, the sad part is in the town where it's the epicenter. It's a lot of poor people who are elderly, who are in wheelchairs, and it's sad because how do they recover from this? The help, they are alone. The whole family is here with my grandparents because they're like super scared. Everything fell on the floor, so we have to come help them. So it's a national holiday here that we're supposed to celebrate, and everybody's just scared. And we all now all the time we feel like, oh my God, did it shake again? Because we just constantly feel and we're just afraid. And it's getting to a point that people say, oh, I just want to, go to Florida or something where this passed, because this is very unusual. It's been since December 28th, and we've been having shakes every day.
Yeah, and it's been the video. It looks like you can even see those aftershocks that are still happening. Well, stay safe, Fernando Velez. Thank you so much in Puerto Rico. We appreciate you talking to us.
Buildings collapsed, hospitals evacuated, homes in ruins. Puerto Ricans fled outside after the latest in a series of earthquakes shook them out of bed early this morning. Horrible, everything fell on top of us. Getting to the street was an odyssey because everything had fallen on the road, this woman says.
Dale, cojan, vamos, vamos, vamos.
This broadcast was on the air.
Vamos.
The quakes are the latest setback for an island still recovering from the deadly 2017 hurricane, with billions of dollars of repairs still needed. In Guayanillas, residents salvaged what they could from this historic church, which had stood since 1841. Monday's quake also destroyed this natural rock formation and popular tourist attraction. With cars crushed and power outages across the island, Puerto Rican Governor Wanda Vazquez declared a state of emergency and activated the National Guard. Puerto Rico sits near a major undersea fault line that has caused multiple tremors since December 28th. The constant rumbling has kept residents on edge. I was sleeping when the house began falling down bit by bit. I grabbed my bag, which I had prepared, and ran outside and jumped off the balcony, this man says. In the southeast, seismologists say there's been more than 800 seismic events in the past 2 weeks. Unheard of since they started keeping records in the mid-'80s.
I would hope that this was the last large event, but it's not guaranteed.
She says it's difficult to predict if the quakes will continue.
So there is activity constantly in Puerto Rico. It just happens that this activity is close to land and is shallow, and therefore is impacting the public more.
As the aftershocks continue, some are forced to remain outside, unsure when it will be safe to go back in. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.
This Boeing 757 is...
shaking, our bed is just moving. It was just a crazy experience.
Terrifying moments for Astros star Carlos Correa and his wife Daniela, who were in Puerto Rico this morning when a powerful earthquake hit the island. The Astros shortstop says he's never been so scared in his life.
Tonight, the couple is safe, but the destruction across Puerto Rico has turned buildings to rubble. The
Correa has talked to our Stephanie Whitfield from Puerto Rico today. She's in the newsroom now with her first-hand account. Steph?
Correa told me he feels like between Hurricane Maria and these earthquakes, Puerto Rico can't catch a break. His foundation has already started a relief fund to help victims rebuild.
A 6.4 magnitude earthquake hit Puerto Rico before dawn, the second major quake in 2 days.
It's definitely one of the scariest experiences to go through.
Carlos and Daniela Correa talked to us from the island. A day before, the Astros shortstop had unveiled a mural in his hometown dedicated to children battling cancer.
At 4:24, we wake up and the whole room is shaking. Our bed is just moving everywhere. I hear my family yelling.
Power was cut off to the whole island as a precaution. Homes and buildings were destroyed, cars crushed underneath.
Here it's a very scary situation, and there's a lot of kids here that are pretty freaked out. So one of the biggest things also is just to send a lot of prayers to the island of Puerto Rico.
But if you can do more, the Correas are asking for help. The Correa Family Foundation has launched a fundraiser to rebuild schools damaged by the earthquake.
There's people that lost their houses, everything that they worked for. I mean, they got nothing now. Houses falling into the cars. So we're going to be donating. We're going to be helping. And if you guys can help us, also that will mean a lot to us.
Now, if you do want to help, we'll have a link to the Correa Family Foundation's relief fund under this story on khou.com. Guys.
What an ordeal for them. Stephanie Whitfield, thank you.
Cleanup and recovery right now in Puerto Rico. A 6.4 magnitude earthquake hit the southern part of the island just before dawn. Buildings and homes have collapsed in this. One person has been killed, at least 8 other people have been hurt. The quake was followed by a series of strong aftershocks, too. News 6's Nadine Yanis is now live at Orlando International Airport for us. And Nadine, you spoke with people in Puerto Rico and people who arrived here in Central Florida today.
Yeah, I did, and Matt, you said cleanup and recovery, but actually preparation is also the word. Full disclosure, the people that we spoke to on the island, my own family, I have cousins and aunts in Hastillo, that is about an hour west of San Juan, an hour and a half away from where this earthquake hit. And my cousin says, yes, they are kind of living with the after effects of all of this, but they're also preparing in fear that a bigger, stronger earthquake is still in the future.
I went to sleep. I didn't know I was going to wake up with my bed and my whole apartment shaking.
You could see the empty shelves on the wall as Yorina Cortez Santiago explains what it felt waking up to a 6.4 magnitude earthquake in Puerto Rico this morning. The epicenter hitting off the coast near Ponce, about an hour and a half away from where she spoke to us today. Videos from that scene show houses slanted, once on stilts, but now on cars. The strongest of shakes in a series she's felt every day for the last 10 days.
But since December 28th, like every day.
And now the fear is if there is a next one.
I'm feeling pretty anxious right now. Because we don't know, as I said, it could start shaking right now.
Aunts, uncles, and cousins together packing up supplies to go without power. But the hard part for preparing for an earthquake, unlike a hurricane, is the unknown.
It's pretty much the same anxiety when we were during the hurricane. We could prepare and we knew what was going to happen.
You could hear that same anxiety in Samalí Santini's voice today. She flew into Orlando from Puerto Rico hours after waking up to the quake.
Power's off, and all of a sudden I just hear as if there's a subway underground, basically. The house starts to shake. I see my fan shaking on the roof, going a little crazy, and then it just kept going.
Mixed emotions leaving home.
It was actually quite emotional. I felt sad. I mean, not that I want to be there, but felt like I was, leaving my family, going through some crazy stuff.
And you heard there that they were saying that the power went out just before they felt the shaking of the earthquake. That is because the way the power system is set up in Puerto Rico, it does shut down to protect itself. Now, authorities say they were hoping to have power restored by late tonight. I just texted my cousin. She says as of right now, power is still out on the island. Reporting live from Orlando International Airport, I'm Nadine Yanis, Getting Results, News 6.
just heartbreaking to see all of that, Nadine. Thank you.
At least one person is dead and many homes are severely damaged after that 6.4 magnitude earthquake in Puerto Rico. Officials also shutting down the island's vulnerable power grid, leaving many in complete darkness. 9 on your side's Paolo Suro joins us live right now in studio with the latest on that situation and how you can help from right here in Cincinnati. Paolo?
Yeah, well, Craig, you know, the last time a significant earthquake like this one hit Puerto Rico was actually 102 years ago. A significant time, and usually people there are preparing for hurricanes like Hurricane Irma and Maria in 2017, and really this time around hundreds of thousands of people, including my family who I spoke to today, could not prepare. A wake-up call like no other.
It took about 10 seconds from the electricity to be off and start shaking. Then we realized it was an earthquake, and a big one.
A 6.4 earthquake rocking Puerto Rico, striking less than 10 miles off the southwest coast, but felt all over, including Carolina, where Jorge Machicote lives.
If you stand up, you get dizzy because the floor is moving.
Resulting in disaster, homes torn off their foundations, power poles snapped, even this famous...
I think that this is not over. They're saying that this is going to be for a few days.
With no end in sight and many aftershocks since, Machicote keeps up with the tremors with an app on
sound here. That means that I have an application. Just now, we got a 2:15, which is a minute ago, 4.5.
Monday morning's quake coming less than a day after a 5.8 earthquake and after hundreds of smaller ones since December 28th, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. At least 29 of those were over magnitude 4.0.
The last earthquake in Puerto Rico was in 1918, so it's about a little bit over 100 years ago. And structurally, it's worlds apart from what, 1918 Puerto Rico was to 2020 Puerto Rico.
This is why organizations like Cincinnati for PR are stepping in to help. The nonprofit sent 150 pounds of goods to the island after Hurricane Maria and Irma. This time they're fundraising for this cause.
This was the first normal Christmas that they've had in 2 years. So it's just depressing for them to have to be dealing with this again.
And just minutes ago, I spoke to people in Puerto Rico, and power has yet to return. Right now, there are actually just a few flights left to leave the island, and those remaining are expensive, ranging from $600 to $1,600. So if you're able to donate or help, we have that information on WCPO.com.
Good morning. What's going on, everybody? So, just kind of marking myself safe here from the Puerto Rico earthquakes that are happening right now. I felt, I don't know what it was, whether it was an actual earthquake or a tremor or an aftershock, but I would say about, 20 minutes ago, lost power, and many people on the island have lost power. So if you're curious as to, this is just a side note kind of recommendation thing, Hurricane Center PR on Facebook has a lot of up-to-date information. So I'd recommend checking out that page. That's what I'm on now. That's kind of what I'm getting my, general information from. So don't quote me on anything, I am no professional earthquake reporter, but, from what I'm hearing, it was a 6.6 and the epicenter was in Guanica. Hey, what's going on, Kevin? And so 6.7 on the south, yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know already, Guanica has been getting earthquakes lately. This morning there was a bad one. It destroyed some people's homes, flattened cars, cars that were parked underneath the homes, because that's how it's done here sometimes. Well, that's not just here, but yeah, so on the bottom floor, people roll right in, underneath their house, and so some of those got crushed. No deaths or anything. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I was literally getting ready to go to sleep. I'm up late, and for me, I'm on the first floor. It was small. Some people, I don't know, they feel like I'm crazy for saying those words, but that's what I felt. You know, it was very small. I wasn't sure it was happening until I sat up, and I kind of, I didn't see anything shaking when I looked around, but, I could tell that my head was bobbing because of the swaying. I immediately looked out the window, at a really, really tall light post, and didn't see it shaking or swaying or anything. So I don't know, maybe just here, McCleary, first floor, not a big deal or something, but there are people that are still, there are people that are close to the area that said it was, big. Generally, the people that are, from what I've seen so far that said there was a lot of shaking, they're on the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th floors of apartment buildings. So yeah, I guess I'm just, like I said, just kind of marking myself safe. All is good. We do have a power loss now, so that sucks, obviously. So I'm not the only one that's lost power. It seems like the whole island is a blackout, and until I find out otherwise, that's kind of what I'm feeling, because like I said, if you go on Hurricane Center PR on their Facebook page, and you just scroll, like, power's out in all over the island, just all over the island, southwest, east, definitely in this area, Agua Buenas, power is out. Let me just scroll a little bit. Ay Bonito, power's out. Carolina, Dorado is out. So it's like Aguadilla, let me see, lasted like 20 seconds. Actually, they don't say that the power is out, though, so they said they felt it. I wouldn't doubt it, because Aguadilla is close by Guanica. Levittown, yeah, I mean, actually, I seen also somebody say, I think they said Dominican Republic they felt it. I could be wrong. It said REP Dominican, actually REP Dominica, I think it said. So I could be wrong. That could be like a barrio or a certain part of the island. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm no professional earthquake dude or obviously a geographer. Yeah, but it looks like Barcelona, everywhere is out. It might be an island-wide blackout right now. I wouldn't doubt that for a second. And then also somebody said as they were, like, because they were replying, because I have a Facebook group that I made. It's just, a small little neighborhood group where, we can talk about things that are happening in our area. And so somebody was replying like maybe 10 minutes ago, and they said they felt aftershocks. So I think it was four and change that the actual I don't know exactly what time it was, but I think it was somewhere around 4 that the actual earthquake hit. But that, like I said, that 10-minute message from that guy a little while ago shows that we are getting aftershocks. My guess is the people in the tall buildings are going to be the ones that feel it the most, because from what I've seen, those are the people who kind of laugh when I say it. It was small. I felt it small, or I felt it was light. So yeah, different feelings for different people. But yeah, all is good, I guess. Right now I'm hoping the best for people in Guanica, because I mean, they got a 5 yesterday, I think it was. They got a 5 point something, and that took a few houses down. That took a few houses off their stilts. So if they got a 6.7 down there now, then that's going to be bad. There's going to be really scared people waking up in the middle of the night, running for their family members, and all that stuff. So I'm just hoping for the best. But yeah, 6.6 down there. But yeah, I'm going to get going. I got to conserve battery. I'm going to have battery backups, but still. It's the middle of the night, well, morning now. I got to work in 3 hours, which I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on things, but all is good. I'm safe. And if anybody has anything interesting to share, you know, shoot me a message. Shoot me a message on Facebook or text message or whatever. All right. So that's about it. Thanks for tuning in. All is good here in, you know, Ocean Park area. And I'll do another video later on. Keep you guys updated on what I found out. Take care and have a great day. Bye.
Crisis growing with Iran following that U.S. drone strike that killed Iran's top military commander.
Millions of people taking to...
A 5.8 magnitude earthquake has hit Puerto Rico with more aftershocks expected. So it first hit this morning at 5:30 a.m. You can see homes are damaged, some rubble in the roadway right there, but thankfully we're learning that nobody is injured as of right now, at least no confirmed injuries, but many are still without power.
Emergency erosion work is Puerto Rico has been rattled by more than 100 earthquakes over the last week. The strongest one came this morning when islanders woke up to a 5.8 magnitude quake. And video coming out of the island shows some damage to homes, especially ones built on stilts. There are reports of significant damage in the town of Guanica. Now, you may recognize it because that's where the bioluminescent bay is located. Now, the latest quake happened not too long ago. This time it was on land. It was a 4.8 magnitude quake. Parts of the island are without power, and small landslides prompted crews to temporarily close roads on the south coast. Now remember, this is all happening as the island is struggling to rebuild after Hurricane Maria hit back in 2017. Is there a reason that we're seeing so many earthquakes in this area, though?
Nothing that we can pinpoint and say that's exactly it. It's in an area of seismic activity where we normally do see it. That house you saw in that video, that's really typical for houses, especially in that area. They're kind of up on stilts.
Right.
That damage was from this morning's quake, which was 5.8, which was offshore. We just had one at 4:37 p.m., just 20 minutes ago or so. And that one was at 4.8. That one was over land in the same vicinity, southwest Puerto Rico. You can see what's happening here. That's the area where we've seen all of these quakes in just the last week or so. But you notice the big one we had offshore this morning was right there. That was the 5.8, and the one that we just had, in fact, this one right here is brand new. I'm even going to have to check the size of that one, but that's probably in the 4.5 range. These are 100 times weaker than that, but they're formidable earthquakes, so a lot of shaking. So the damage of that house we just showed you, that actually occurred from this one this morning, this one being over land, and it was only 6 miles deep. The shallower it is, the more shaking on the surface, so there's going to be some issues with some...
The Caribbean island, which is a U.S. territory, has been hit by a series of quakes in the past days, with the strongest striking early Tuesday. Puerto Rico Governor Wanda Vazquez warned citizens that the seismic activity could continue.
We have communicated with the United States Geological Survey, and they have informed us that this type of movement may continue for the next few days. We must be prepared, and we must have our individual and family plans ready in case new tremors occur.
Schools and government offices were closed Tuesday, and many residents were afraid to return home for fear of collapsing structures.
There is a feeling of panic because we are expecting something stronger to happen, something worse.
And really, there is a feeling of instability and panic with people here from this town.
On Monday morning, a 5.8 magnitude quake struck the island, destroying 5 homes in the southwest coastal town of Guanica and causing severe damage to many others. The quake was followed by a string of smaller tumblers. Then, before dawn Tuesday, a stronger quake, measuring a magnitude of 6.4, struck the southern coast. The governor said Puerto Rico has not experienced such a situation in more than 100 years.
We are talking about something for which we could not prepare, like for hurricanes, which we can see coming and have different information so we can protect our property. We are talking about a situation that happens without notice.
Vasquez said she has requested help from the National Guard to assist residents in the wake of the earthquake. Puerto Rico is still recovering from devastating Hurricane Maria that hit the island in September of 2017, killing about 3,000 people and destroying much of the infrastructure. Zlatica Hoke, VOA News, Washington.